Top of the morning to you all, 2J, aka Scroll. Sawadee Krab, top of the morning, 2J, aka Squintabulous from the land of smiles, and I am smiling. I will be smiling even wider after I drink my morning coffee, which is what I'm on the way to get now. But I said I'd check in with you all again and continue talking about awareness. Awareness is where we come from, what we forget about, and what we inevitably remember again before it's all said and done. I was always aware of the truth of awareness before any other occurrence in my life. There was always that truth there before personality. I wonder, is it the same for these? More than likely not, because consciousness is what separates us from animals. We are the only living entities on the planet that can think about what we're doing and not do it or do it differently than what our instinct would say. A cat or a dog just does what it does, but the human being has the ability to think and change course, which many of us believe is a good thing, which many of us don't. Because many of us get so caught up in that thinking that they lose awareness of everything else. It's like the guru. It's like the guru, Sadhguru says. The mind can be a sharp tool that can cut through anything like butter. Or it can be a messy instrument that causes all sorts of damage. Or as the Goldie Looking Chain says, guns don't kill people, rappers do. You know? Is it the gun that's dangerous? Or is it the person with the gun that's dangerous? But anyway, I'm strolling through the market here to get to my 40 baht coffee, and we shall pick this up. Sorry, cat, come on. We shall pick this up again after that. AKA Squintabulous! Haha! I wake up, go for a latte in the sun. Coffee, gosh, good old coffee there. That's a Carabao coffee. Get a good old kick in the morning from that coffee. And I'm a man that's always enjoyed a kick. I would search for kicks throughout life growing up in various different forms. Alcohol kicks, excitement kicks, food kicks, drug kick, and it all led me to being kicked around, I suppose you could say. But I remember at one point of it all where my search for kicks, you could say, led me to the courts, you know. And good morning. Well, my search for kicks led me to the courts, and I was up in front of the judge. And in the Irish system, you have the right to claim that you were not in your right mind when you were committing crimes. And normally you will get another chance, especially for your first offence up in front of the courts. And it's very fitting for what we're talking about, actually, being in your right mind and being aware of your mind, and your mind dictating things and letting it, and this, that and the other. But I'm coming at it from an angle where it all led me in front of a counsellor. He was a lovely man, and he knew my story well. And I would sit there in front of him, and he would ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I would say that I would like how it feels, and he said, it really is the feeling you're after, isn't it? And he says to me, did you ever try meditation? And I says, I heard about it, I wouldn't be into that. I already had a judgment on it in my mind that it was something for hippies and it wasn't cool. Keep in mind now, I'm the hard man at this. I've really identified with and trusted and embraced this hard man, funny man character that wouldn't do anything outside of that image. This was the 19, 20-year-old me we're talking about here. I'm sure. It is actually blurry, specifically around the time, because there was a serious amount of prescription drugs involved, and it does blur the memory, but it all occurred between the teenage years, and it took a halt at the age of 24, and I finally got out and changed my life around. But anyways, I digress. So I'm sitting there in front of this counselor, and he's trying to get me into meditation. And he says, what if I told you it'd get you higher than any drug you've ever done before? And I says, well, I'm definitely worth a shot, so. And he said to me, it's something you have to stay with. He said, but I promise you, after 6 or 7 times of doing meditation, you will feel a high. So I says, grand, and in we get in. He tells me to relax my muscles and to be aware of the sounds and to feel all the sensations, and guided my breath, and I felt the buzz. It didn't take me no 6 times, didn't take me no 6 weeks, it didn't take me no nothing. I instantly felt the buzz, because I was tuned for the buzz. My body was tuned for the buzz. I remember when I even took the COVID shots, I got high off them. So I'm tuned for the buzz, and I got it straight away. And the best thing about it was there was clarity rather than a hangover. So I felt like I got in on a cheat code. I felt like I got in on a cheat code where I could get instant high. And it was higher, better than any drug I had ever taken before. And I was able to get instant highs without come downs. But I would have to sacrifice this image and this character, which there are still whispers of today inside, especially when I get mad. But he's met with a more loving, you're welcome to be here kind of an attitude now, rather than a forceful, what the fuck are you doing, thinking, saying, and haunting memory. And that's all from the benefits, the fruits of meditation. So I'm walking down here now to get a bag of eggs. That's the way things are gone now. My life is that transformed that I'm in Thailand, walking towards a shop, getting my high from coffee, and walking towards a bag of eggs, and bring it back to my wifey at home, and she'll cook me up some sausage and eggs, and we'll have breakfast sandwiches. Peace and love, boys and girls, until the next time. Reminiscent of days I wasn't innocent. Feels like I've made it now, as I make this proud. Misbehavior put me down, look what I've become.